Daves of Thunder is taped before a live studio audience.
Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. David and Dave, Dave, Dave.
Hi and hello, podcasters. I hope all's well wherever you are. I don't think you could be in a better mood than I'm in. You know what? I have a little bounce in my step. Welcome to Daves of Thunder, episode whatever. It's your old pal Dave Damashek here, David Feeney over there. Great to catch up with you again, a second time in less than a week. That's a rare thing. How are you, David Feeney?
Too much FaceTime with me? Too much time looking at David Feeney's face?
No, it felt like a throwback. It felt like a throwback to another time. David Feeney, well, let's just start there.
I've never seen you. I'm going to say it right now, I've never seen you happier than this moment right now. In the history of the podcast, you've never been happier. You're walking on air. You're 10 feet tall.
Well, you know,
20 pounds lighter?
I thought it would be great to be able to, you know, you've been kind of pushing at me and we don't catch up other than at this appointed time every week. And I thought you were probably right. And, you know, Halloween.
You're a busy man now. You're a busy man. Not doing it, but you're a very busy man.
You are too. David Feeney.
I set my table.
True. And, you know, Halloween's coming and, you know, all the kids are excited about that. And we started getting the costumes during the week and everything. And I don't know if they have anywhere to wear them, but they're the little kids and they wanted to get their costumes. So we went and did that. And as you know, or if you may not recall, from Thanksgiving, the Wednesday night, when the last period class bell rings in school and they say, you're free and we won't see you until next Monday. When that bell rings, the eve of Thanksgiving, that marks the start of Shecker season.
Not this chunk. Oh, I didn't know where you were going. Not this panel. Oh, my God.
The sweetest stretch
right away with panel
on the calendar year. And I started feeling festive about it. And I feel like, look, I wear a mask. I respect it. I respect people around me. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to wear a mask, but that doesn't mean that my friends can't come over and spend some quality time. And so we decided kind of impromptu, you know what? Let's have everybody over. Let's have not everybody, but some people. Let's have over and have a nice little get together. What are we doing with this backyard after all? You know, what's the point? Let's not just survive. Let's live a little bit. And so, you know, my faith in humanity and friendship and otherwise is hereby restored. It was a great time on Saturday, wasn't it?
You're referring to the fact that you had your party that you promised last week. You had your rival party to Donovan's. And you invited, this is the one you talked about last week. And this is the one that I told you that I was going to go to because I wasn't going to go to Donovan's party. We can talk about that later because, guys,
I don't want to make it.
It's been icy.
It wasn't about that.
We don't have to talk about that. Let's talk about your party. Your party was, if I can be so bold to say, one fantastic rowdy dow. It was great. I got there at 3 to help set up, right? Because Damashek got these tables that I had to set up. And so that was great. I don't know why the people who you got the tables from weren't setting it up, but that's fine. So I'm there early with the mask on, and I'm setting up the table, which was weird. Also, you made me wear the rubber gloves. That was weird. Damashek had a gigantic box of the blue medical gloves to wear. So fine. I set up the table, and we just had a great time the whole time. I was there until
be a downer.
I was there till 1 in the morning.
I was going to say it started on Saturday, but you were there on Sunday. Technically.
And where were your kids? They were with Cindy. Where were the kids? Because the kids were not there.
No, because they were there. I mean, it was really an all day thing. And that's what's kind of fun. It's like, who's going to show up next? Who's coming? Who's going? Whatever. It was a great time. And, you know, I missed the older kids there. You missed Jad-Clan Van Damashek, you know, took out the instrument, and so did his sister Oprah, and they did a little duet for the early arriving crowd. They did a couple of songs, and then they had some other stuff to do.
When was that? When I was on my ice run, my third ice run? You've never seen somebody want more ice for a party than Dave Damashek. But anyway, Beth looked beautiful. How many people were there?
I mean, that's what I'm like. It was the sort of like you needed one of those tickers to count everybody because some people were.
No, there wasn't that many.
No,
I mean, it was also socially responsible. There was tables set up. And how big is your backyard? Your old backyard that you had with Cindy with the orange tree where you would play a football game. This is bigger than that one.
What
it was nice.
It was kind of, I guess you would say it was, it wasn't a massive party. I'm just jiving. It was, I'd say all told over the course of the day, there were maybe 20 to 25 dear friends that showed up. Like, no dead weight. Just, this was prime time kind of thing. So
there was me,
stars there.
There was I was the whole time. People came and went, like you said. They showed up there a lot of time, but Dave Feeney was there the whole time. Dave Feeney was there. Only once did Beth give me a tray of apps to pass out to people, which I thought putting me to work like that was not cool. But again, she and I got along. I didn't see her since Thanksgiving was the last time I saw her.
She didn't even. No.
When I dropped off the wine for your birthday was the last time I saw her. Before that, it was Thanksgiving. I've seen her twice in a year.
I was surprised.
You and I were so close.
I was
surprised.
Happened? You know how I know she had a good time? She didn't even mention that as day turned into night. No, as day turned to night, and as happens here in Southern California, as soon as the sun disappears, so too does the heat. But Feeney was like, I don't care. I'm at a party. Refused to put his shirt on. Refused.
Oh, stop it. I did get in the hot tub.
It's almost midnight. Can you please put a shirt on? What's the point of that? But I didn't care. She definitely didn't care. I don't.
I wanted. Well, she lingered. Her looks lingered a little bit. My God! But I almost got her into the hot tub. Damn it! I got a hot tub in the backyard for the party.
Did you? You didn't even know you could rent one of those.
No, I had no idea. But it was one of those inflatable ones. And also,
nice little shout out to our old friend who obviously couldn't make it and can't make it anywhere except he's making sweet music up in heaven.
Yeah, I think he was there though in Spear, right? He was in the pier, and he was in here. Like Dufresne says in Shawshank, you got to be free up here. But it was also, there was an ice sculpture there that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. You had a bartender, which was great, and he was making cocktails. It was just a hell of a time, and I really appreciate it. There's a couple of people I had not seen forever. Some people from the Kimmel Show were there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so that was really cool. But your neighbors,
Turbo from BattleBots was a no-show. That was a disappointment. No,
your neighbors were there. Your neighbors who I always thought you talked about your neighbors that you didn't get along with them. They were very nice. How old are they?
They're a little bit older, but you wouldn't know it. They're spry. I mean, they kept up with me. We talked about, my drinking habits. They hung right in there. They hung right in there the whole way. They never said boo. You were getting along with some of you were the belle of the ball with some of the septuagenarian ladies around there. You were holding court.
There was he's exaggerating, but there's like 3 or 4 women that I was like,
what's Belushi really like? What's that? Oh, what's your favorite? Tell us your favorite 5 Bette Midler anecdotes, kind of thing. Oh, he was spinning yarns. Oh,
yeah, that was you dropping those bits because I was just talking to him like a normal person. You had to, he wrote for Belushi. He knows Bette Midler. He was doing that stuff, the same stuff he did to my father last Thanksgiving.
I was playing host.
Same stuff.
I was like Gatsby, That's why I was just making connections for everybody.
How much Gage did you smoke that night? Because I also felt like you kind of didn't know that I was there. I don't even
know what that had.
Was there Gage at the party? I smelled Gage.
I don't know if people broke that out. One of my neighbors. I'm not gonna narc on anybody out there, but as you know, I have some pretty. I live in a Tony neighborhood with surrounded by some Hollywood celebs, so I'm not gonna sell them down the river here.
Did Beth invite any of her friends or no? Because, by the way, I'm not telling tales out of school. There's mostly men at this party, except for a couple old lady neighbors. There was mostly men at this party. Do you know any women? Again, women don't like you. Women just don't seem to like you. I don't know why.
Well, that may be true. No, it's not that they don't like me. It's that it's the opposite of kind of Harry Met Sally with me. It's like, like Crystal tells Ryan in the car ride from Chicago to New York when they're both playing Youngs. A little bit of a reach there when Billy Crystal's playing 21. But anyhow, he tells her, even if your guy friends say they don't want to have sex with you, they do. Mm-hmm. I represent for women danger. They don't they understand. Don't put yourself, Sally or Sylvia or whoever you are, don't put yourself in that place Sylvia. With Dave Damashek. Dave Damashek puts these on you. It's good night, As I said before, I'll say it again.
Gary, get ready.
Medusa, when she locks eyes with men, they turn to stone. When Dave Damashek locks eyes with a woman, they turn to mush.
Gary, Tim Tebow, please.
The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40.
It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime.
Tebow.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I don't care if I'm going to listen. He loves the Lord, and I respect it.
Are you saying then that Beth did not? I'm wondering if Beth did not want women there because of your power, because of your power. She just didn't want women there. Is that her? Was that it?
Well, it cuts both ways. Yeah, I mean, there are no winners from that situation. Not her friends being exposed to Dave Dameshek. Then they take that baggage home of why can't you be like Dave? You should see how Dave, the way he holds, the magnetic vibe, especially in that situation. I don't generally love to have big parties or anything, but I was feeling it. I was really, you and I working out our best bits for the crowd, kind of.
That was cool. That was cool. Beth didn't like that so much. You and Beth only got in one fight, though. Only one fight. Normally, when you guys are together, there's 2 or 3 storm outs.
You don't have to bring that up. Yeah, you don't have to bring that.
What was that about? I know, you were pawing at her a lot. You're come on, you're putting your arm around her a little bit. And you kept
I wanted to celebrate.
Asking her to show men her girls. Come on, show them the girls. Which I can see why she'd be upset about that. Come on.
Listen, it was a good time, but the only thing
it was great.
I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. You mentioned it first of all, that Donovan, I guess, had a party that I wasn't invited to, but I'd completely.
You guess he had a party you were invited. You've been obsessed with it.
I don't know.
Nothing but it for a month.
I didn't. I honestly, listen to me. I had completely forgotten about it. I just was thinking this is a great time. The weather's nice here. I thought about a party and I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about, I think Donovan, maybe his party is planned for this same day. I don't know, but then I appreciate even more that you showed up, but I'm bummed. Maybe that has something to do with Gary not showing up. I'm not trying to make Gary feel guilty or anything. But
yeah, Gary, you didn't. So Gary, let's get Smith on for crying out loud.
Hey guys.
All right. Hey Gary, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bummed. I feel like I missed out on a good party.
Were you invited to this party? Because you were invited to Donovan's party, and then you were to the Dameshek party.
I definitely 100%.
Yeah.
Do not.
No jive whatsoever. You absolutely invited me. You left me.
And then why didn't you go? Were you at Donovan's? Because you were at Donovan's party.
I was.
Do you have?
I'm
not going to be. I'm not going to be taken to task for hi-hatting Gary here.
No.
I absolutely 100% invited you, Gary. If you have your cell phone, please play I left you a nice message the day before, and I would like you to verify that so it doesn't feel like above the line, below the line. I didn't give a good goddamn. We were all people on Saturday, and that was my agenda, was to have a nice time with my good friends.
Yep, here you go.
Hey Gary, it's Shaq from Days of Thunder. Hey, I just wanted to let you know, you and Joya and the boy and anybody else you want. I decided just last minute. I don't know, because the weather's supposed to be nice. I think I'm going to have a little get together over here at the house tomorrow. So would love for you to come by. Bring, like I say, if only you can make it, that's cool. If you want to bring the whole family, if any friends you want to bring, that's great too. Should be fun. I'm going to get some beer. Some Branzino. Jean-Claude Van Dameshek might play the drums a little bit. I don't know if he will. But anyway, should be a cool hang. So hope you can make it.
A cool hang? You have not left me one voicemail in 15 years. And you're leaving a voicemail for Gary. And I know why. Because you wanted him to go to your party. He ended up going, but you wanted him to go to your party because you didn't want him to go to Donovan's party.
Untrue.
For you to play dumb and say you don't know about that, you forgot about Donovan's party, that's crazy.
I completely spaced it. I completely spaced the Donovan.
You blocked it out of your mind?
I didn't block.
Like getting fired from Bette Midler's pilot?
I didn't get fired from no Bette Midler pilot. I was right there with you through the shooting of it. That's right. I was right there with you.
Spelling bet with 3 T's. My boss finally fired him. David, get up and leave. Just get up and leave.
Why? That is such a
got up and
seminal
left.
moment.
He said those instructions he followed.
That's not true at all. I do remember, though.
The shot of Damashek walking out of that bungalow.
I didn't make up your lies. Listen,
just walking out of that bungalow he picks up a ream of paper under his arm and just walks out the door.
I remember from what I remember that week. That was a severe humiliation. Maybe the night before the pilot actually was supposed to shoot. There was a massive. I think maybe even two gigantic hula hoop sized trays of sushi.
That's right.
For everybody. And
sure.
and the guy who the showrunner was, who Feeney considers a mentor and I consider a jackass. Feeney.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Anyhow.
He's a great man.
Okay. He is. You're right.
He bought you crab cakes.
That's true.
He bought you crab cakes. I mean, and all that sushi, trays of Hirozen sushi. Eating them by the fistful.
He threw a 42-page script at me with the right size braids and everything in it. Anyway,
Ray would never do that, he said as he chucked your Raymond Speck across the room.
I remember him sticking his dirty mitts right into the sushi. No regard for anyone else. Just sticking his no chopsticks, no nothing, as though he were the only man on the earth. Well,
he paid for it.
Just sticking his talons down into this and then shoving it into his maw. It was just grotesque. I literally ate none of the sushi.
Anyway, back to your firing.
I found it so repellent, and I was sitting at the laptop, and I didn't know how to type. I made it all the way through journalism school, which was a great achievement. Ernie Pyle School of Journalism, one of the most prestigious journalism schools in all the land.
Didn't teach spelling them, did it?
Well, I didn't know how to type. So I wasn't typing quickly enough for him. And I got it, but he said, David, don't take an offense to this. Please get up from the computer. David Feeney, will you take over? Please don't be offended by this. And that was
cackling. Me. I remember that. It was very embarrassing. And I was like, I felt for you that night. I did. I really felt for you. That was really humiliating.
Yeah, I'm never going to be a secretary. That was the night I realized I'm never going to be a good secretary.
You still, but you're working your way back. And I think that this past Saturday was the finish line. I think you won. I think you can now put the gold medal around your neck and you can stand on top of that podium because you did a great job. It was great. Gary didn't go. I missed you, Gary. I thought you could have been there. I thought that was kind of not cool that you weren't there. And I was like, why? And I remember Damashek and I talking about it. Like, I can't believe he chose Donovan's party. I can't believe it's Donovan's party because I've been leaving you voicemails too.
Yes.
I've been leaving Gary a lot of voicemails about it.
For what?
To do, what not to do. Because I didn't want him to go to Donovan's party because I thought it was important that you show some solidarity because you're not doing that. Is that true? Yeah. Play one.
You actually left him voice messages. Well, but now that I am touched by.
Hey, Gary, it's Feeney from Days of Thunder. Can you give me a call? We got to talk about Donovan's party. I know you said you're on the fence, but Damashek's really taking this thing hard. It's not a bit. I can just tell if you go, it's going to be a thing. No one's saying you can't do what you want to do, but it's already been aside from 19, it's been a hard year from him, really hard. And I don't know. I just want you to think about it. All right, man. I hope you're well. Bye.
Okay. All right.
It has been a tough year for reasons beyond that we won't get into here.
It has nothing to do with the pandemic, believe me. But for crying out loud, so it's been a bit. I put it out there, and so I was like, I can't believe I left this guy voicemails, and he still didn't go to Damashek's party. He still go to Donovan's party, but apparently, Gary, what happened?
I just want to say, Gary, I just want to say because I do not accuse me of doing this out of some spite or whatever. I had completely forgotten. I had completely even forgotten that Gary or that Donovan was having a party. I think I even mentioned it. I made a point, in fact, of calling you back, Gary, to make it clear that you could go to whichever party you wanted. And I had completely even forgotten about the existence of Donovan's party. Do you have the voicemail, Gary?
Yeah, I do. I got quite a few voicemails. Here's the next one.
Oh.
Yo, Gary, my guy. What up, brah? Hey, I left you a message a couple hours ago. I don't know if you got it, but about the party. I'd appreciate it if you could think. But I hope I'm realizing too that I forgot about Donovan had planned that party. I hope you're not thinking about. I mean, do what you want to do. You're entitled to, I guess, do whatever you want. But also, though, I mean, it's kind of not cool. Do you know why he didn't invite me? Just don't. It's weird that he didn't, but he did invite you. I mean, I get it, but he didn't invite Feeney. Anyway, if you're going to make it to my party, I think it's really going to be a good time. And I don't want to be like a jerk or anything, but, you know, remember where you were just a few years ago and where you are now. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to call it out, but, you know, would you be doing what you're doing if you didn't know me? I don't know. Whatever. That's not the point. Looking forward to seeing you and whoever else tomorrow. Okay, cool.
I don't believe it.
I
remember where you came from.
But I was right. I said I'm not going to play that card. I thought I was. I would.
That's playing the card.
I didn't.
But that's playing the card.
I let him know that I wasn't playing it. I said I'm not going to play the card. I said I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be right to do. So I didn't do
That's amazing to me. So is that what did it, Gary? Is that what did it? Did you make you not go to Damashek party because he was being so ridiculous about things? He was threatening you? I wouldn't go to Damashek party either if he threatened me.
I got to be
honest.
I don't
care that I paid for all the Branzino. Oh my God.
That was absolutely.
Trip to Santa Monica Seafood cost me a fortune.
That was absolutely the point where I started questioning my plans for the weekend. It was that voicemail really made me sit down and think about it. Yeah.
Did you call him back? Because you didn't call me back every time I left you a voicemail. I left you more.
The thing was, every time I was looking to call somebody back, I would get another voicemail, and I was pretty conflicted. I didn't know what to do.
I mean, it is. Whatever. It's water under the bridge at this point, but it is bad form to not RSVP one way or the other. I never heard from you, and I assumed you were, and I am sitting on a fair amount of Branzino now in the fridge.
You're kidding me. Beth said it was all gone. I would have taken some home.
Oh, were you? Well, no.
I paid for it. It's like $700 in fish.
I mean,
they couldn't believe it. My card got declined.
Turns out that if you apply yourself, that you can come up with a number of ways to repurpose Branzino over the course of a week.
And good for you.
But anyway, yeah, I wish that would have been better if it were in Gary's belly.
But Gary, I called you a million times.
You did. So the next voicemail that I got was actually from Feeney, and this was where I got to a point where I didn't really feel like I could call anyone back because I had no idea what was going on here. I'll play it for you guys.
Hey, buddy, it's Feeney again from Days of Thunder. I just got off the phone with Damashek, man. He's loaded. He was all over the place. It was like a Trump press conference. He's really down about this thing. I know I said before that you can make up your own mind about Donovan's party, but I'm telling you, if you want this show to go forward, you could not go to this thing, okay? But I'm around to talk about it, okay? All right, be well.
Hey, who are you talking to?
Leaving a voicemail for Gary about Damashek.
Oh, my God, be done with that guy.
Who, Damashek?
Yeah.
I know.
Am I red?
What the heck?
Am I embarrassed?
I knew it. I knew she had it in for me.
Gary, what are you doing? What's the matter with you?
I'm playing the voicemails I was left.
Cut that goddamn part out. Shear that. I don't want people to...
Well, I feel like the damage is already done since I heard it now.
I know, but I got a public image to maintain.
And by the way, besides setting Jennifer's disdain for me aside...
Who said that was Jennifer?
Yeah. You're the one. You're threatening the show. You're threatening to pull the show, or that I'm going to pull the show if Gary doesn't show up at my party or if he goes to Donovan's party.
All I was saying is that you would probably, I guarantee, if Gary did not go to your party and went to Donovan's party instead, and we still have to find out how it went, if he did not go to Donovan's party, shit would have gone down, and that's what happened.
I appreciate it.
You know why? Because you routinely take away the show from us. You routinely do it. You routinely threaten to cancel the show. It happens all the time. You did it last week over text message.
You're very difficult, and I think that's the end of the voicemails, and I'm glad that was the last one, and I think that's
actually not the last one.
All done, and I don't think there's anything more that you need, that any of my voicemails, if I left you any others. I'm glad we've already heard the last of them.
Yeah, no, you sent me another one. I don't know if this was during the...
I'd rather that be sheared before it's ever even played.
You'll play it. If you're going to play me, if you're going to play me,
yeah, I think
my bride, my love, my lady, who, by the way, does like you very much, Damashek. She does. I don't think she thinks you're a very good friend, and I think we have the evidence in how many episodes that we've aired that you think about yourself first, everybody else second.
Fine, play it. Fine. I don't care. Fine. You know what? Put it out there. Open up the belt buckle and let the world see what's underneath.
Hey, Gary, it's Shaq checking in. Hey, between you and me, why do you think Donovan invited Feeney and not me? Did he say anything? I mean, you know how phony Feeney is with his, he's cool with you and Donovan when he needs something, but doesn't know your names otherwise, right? I just kind of don't get it. But anyway, just curious about it. Keep it between you and me. Keep that all under your head, okay? Or we could just talk about it tomorrow at the party. I assume you're going to make it. So looking forward to seeing you there. We're getting ready up here. Should be great. Cool, man.
What is that?
I mean, what is that? They're Gary and Donovan are your good friends now?
No, but it's I don't know who their names are. I just think that I just love the idea that you're throwing me under the bus. You throw me under the bus. Why? The person who bought all the brands is the person who's setting up tables and chairs.
I just was trying to make the point.
What do you think held Beth's hair when she was
I didn't understand. I am completely ambivalent about Donovan having a party. I was curious if there was something that, because of the way you're real big on who's above the line and who's below the line. That's always a very important thing for David Feeney. It is. I won't lie. That's right. Hey, do you want to?
You got me.
We're going to go out to dinner. It's going to be Beth and I, and we'd love for you and Jennifer to join. And there's going to be another couple. Feeney's first question is, what do they do in show business? And how much do they get paid? And all that kind of stuff. And so that, right. But I was completely ambivalent about it. And it's not like I was out running around complaining about, that my feelings were hurt or anything about it. And, that was it. I just thought it was strange. That's all.
Gary, can you please let us know what happened? Oh, go ahead. I interrupted, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm not sure that that's necessarily true, Damashek. I think you might have been actually complaining about it a little bit because I did receive a few. No,
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that there was another. I'd forgotten, as you know. I'd forgotten there even was such a thing as a Donovan party.
Well, unfortunately, I think we need to go back to my voicemails because I received a few others.
Hi, Gary. It's Mo Damashek. I hope you're doing well. I have a big favor to ask of you. Could you think about not going to Donovan's party this weekend? I know David acts like, it doesn't matter to him, but he really, really feels very sad that everybody's going and that he hasn't been included. And I'm turning to you because I always have picked up, I know we haven't met yet, I look forward to that, but you're really, really a nice boy. And I don't think you want to hurt anybody for just an evening of going to Donovan's house. I mean, I don't know, but I've really never been sure about him, about Donovan. He always seems like he's for himself, and this is the kind of thing he would do, like exclude David. I don't know why, and I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'm just hoping maybe you'll think about it and you won't go because is it really that important to hurt somebody to do that? But whatever, I will be listening, as you know, to the podcast, and I'll hear if you go or not. So, but anyway, hope you and your wife and your little boy are doing well. And again, I look forward to meeting you sometime. Bye.
That's nice. Classy. That's, she's looking out for her boy,
Looking out for her boy, but clearly then her boy has been complaining about it. Gary's right.
No.
Clearly you've been kvetching about it. You complained to me about it. You complained to me for an hour and a half on the phone. We talked about it for an hour and a half.
I mean,
you have no memory of that, do you?
Maybe my feelings were a little bit hurt about that, but that, she's her own person. If she wants to look out for her child, I appreciate that. I don't know her opinion about Gary versus Donovan. That's her own thing. I don't know. I mean, is she right about Donovan? Probably. I was a little surprised.
Thinks for himself.
I don't know where that even came from.
It sounded like she said, I thought his foreign self. He was like, no, that's on brand for Mo. Let's be honest.
Outrageous talk. Completely false.
So, Gary, talk, unless there's more voicemails to play, unless more people called in to poor Damashek on Damashek's behalf. I mean, so tell me, what happened?
Well, I guess based on the way you phrase that, there are more people who called in on his behalf.
Lovely.
Let's just get through these.
Hi, Gary. Listen, you son of a bitch. I want you to know that I think it would be really rude for you to attend that party this weekend. And I would think it would be much better if you didn't go there at all. I don't know if I ever told you, back in 1946, I had my best friend Walt's birthday party, and I skipped going there because it was the Red Sox World Series, and Ted Williams had a terrible series and didn't get a home run or anything, and Enos Slaughter scored in the 8th inning from first base on a single to win the World Series for the Cardinals. And I missed the whole thing because I went to my friend's party and didn't go to the World Series. So I think it would be rude of you to go, and I think it would be a good thing for you to skip the party and let other people go and make all your other friends happy that you didn't appear. Take care. This is Lee Damashek, Dave's father. Bye-bye.
That was great. You got that old man. You got that old man out of his sick bed to call Gary and to beg him not to go to a party in Long Beach?
No one circles the wagons like the Damashek family does. David Feeney is now, whatever was said on other voicemails or whatever, I don't care about it. I'm going to let it all go because we pulled it together and you showed up at the right party, and I thank you for that.
I absolutely did, and of course, I would be nowhere else other than by your side for no other reason except big fan.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you. Thank you so much.
Go on IMDb.com, look up your credits. Every one of them I love. Bang, 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 hit after hit. Congratulations. But so again, Gary, let's get to it.
So Enos Slaughter's mad dash from first base. Gary didn't know about that's what decided the 46 Fall Classic.
He sounded great, though. He sounded really good. So what's good? I thought for some reason his jaw wasn't quite right. It sounded great.
Oh, you couldn't. I could definitely hear that he's still fighting that.
I'm not saying he's out of the woods, but he sounded terrific.
I agree.
Listen, some things rise above one's own health, and he stepped in. That's where I come from. Now you understand a little something.
To protect his son, you got to prop him up in that bed to protect his son.
So after all of that, I got another voicemail, this time from Donovan. So I've got all of that from the Feeney clan, the Feeney and Damashek clan, and then I get this.
Hey, Gary, very odd. I don't know why you haven't been picking up, but I'm trying to get a head count for my party. You haven't been getting back to me, so I just want to make sure you're coming. It really, really mean a lot if you came. I know we joked about all that stuff on the show and the Daves and everything and Shaq, but I would love if you really came. It would mean a lot, and I'd be pretty hurt if you didn't. So, all right, I'll call you back later. Bye.
Pathetic! How pathetic!
That poor bastard.
That's so embarrassing. Oh, please show up to my party. Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh,
Listen to Damashek. Boy, he's changed. Gary, you're right. Damashek has changed. He's changed for the worse. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe it's 19. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate, but he's Jeffrey. He's a different person now. But go ahead. So, Gary, because of that was the last voice, you heard that voice, so that made you decide to do what? Poor Donovan, pulling on some heartstrings there.
I got to be.
Damashek's parents the same.
I got to be honest. I have great respect for the elder Damasheks. But then Chris called me, had me all confused, and I'm sitting there just right as I'm trying to make my decision. I got one last voicemail that really kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Hi, Gary. It's Sissy Damashek. You couldn't go to Donovan's party. My daddy's really sad. Bye.
Your daughter called in? You had your daughter call him?
I had nothing to do with that.
You son of a bitch.
If she happened to overhear me, maybe she heard one of my calls into Gary or something like that.
Does she have a phone? Gary, play that again. Play that again, this poor lamb.
Hi, Gary. It's Sissy Damashek. You couldn't go to Donovan's party. My daddy's really sad. Bye.
This poor girl, this poor wee lass, who's really just the apple of your eye.
That was her own choice.
Her dad.
That was her own choice to make that call.
I always thought it was impossible to get that phone out of your hand. Apparently, it's not. I guess if you're passed out at 7 in the afternoon, 7 at night, I'm sure that you can get anything from it.
Do you see how nice it is? This is what it is. That was several generations worth of Damasheks circling the wagons. Around
that was pretty astonishing.
So,
Gary, what you're saying is
the drink at those Thanksgiving dinners past me.
After all that,
it was that call you're saying. Go ahead.
After all that, there was nothing I could do but hide in my home. I didn't even go out to get dinner. I stayed at home all night, staring at my phone, terrified.
Is that true? You didn't go to
so you didn't go to his party either?
No, are you kidding me? I'm gonna crush an 80-year-old and a 3-year-old all at the same time. No, I want no part of this. No.
Oh my goodness! So wait, so you didn't go to Donovan's party? So you just stayed home alone the whole night?
Your
wife go to Donovan's party?
No,
because I know you guys aren't doing great.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't going to risk it. I kept the whole family. I kept the whole family at home.
Wow!
Really, the whole family? Really, your infant didn't go to the party?
As the second oldest person on this podcast, I feel like I'm well within my rights to invoke the very, very old man who Dr. Indiana Jones comes upon in when he's searching for the Holy Grail. And I would like to quote him and say what he says to Dr. Jones after he sips from Jesus's cup. Gary, you've chosen wisely.
I'm not going to ding you for that one because that's a pretty good one in a garbage movie, which you talked about. So wait a minute. So now, did Donovan? Can I ask an honest question? First of all, where is Donovan? Is Donovan even on the show tonight?
I want to ask you real quick before anything else. I don't want to bum him out, but
I can't see you at all. You're completely dark, Damashek. Where's your light? Where's that light?
There, all right, I'll lean into the light.
I want
to know this.
Well, I'm going to put my light on too. Hold on, you keep talking.
It's the tri-lamps, me and my fraternity brothers here. All right, let me. I'll open up some light here. Hold on, Gary. You vamp, go. Gary's gonna vamp while I get my light on. Ready? Go.
Put your lamp on, for crying out loud. Boy, is he pathetic or what? Can you believe that? Can you believe that he did that? He had all those people call. He had me call him. He had me on the phone for almost 90 minutes that night. And I called you late. I hope I didn't wake up your baby for crying out loud. He called. He was crying. He was loaded. You could hear the ice cubes in the glass. And he's not a Scotch drinker, but oh my God. Beth screaming at him to go to bed. And he was like,
hey, all right. What do you guys thought? Did you tell Gary what he missed? Did you think that went over replaying my Oprah's bat mitzvah for everybody, just projecting it up onto the wall outside? I thought that was.
I think that was fun. I think that was okay. I mean, that was fine. I just didn't think I had never seen you kind of in the big hat. You had I never saw you in the big hat before. And I never heard you speaking Yiddish before, which was
celebrate diversity. Though it was neat. Her Haftorah was she really did a nice job with that.
He kept saying things like "a pain in the bupkis," like that kind of all these words. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But Gary, I'm flattered that you chose not to. I would rather have celebrated with you and been able to toast you. but I figuratively toast your decision to give the hi-hat to little Donovan. He deserved it, really. Now that it's all done with, can we agree that it was out of line for him to do what he did?
I thought it was absolutely out of line for him to have that party and not invite you for crying. Absolutely, which is why I chose you last week and why I decided to go to your party.
I'm willing to lift the ban.
I just can't believe you had that many people call on your behalf, including your poor little daughter. And then Gary didn't go. Now I'm kind of feeling bad for Donovan a little bit. Did he have anybody go to the party? Did he have the party?
I don't know. I'm going to lift the ban right now on him. I wanted him to be suspended for a full episode, but I'm more intrigued to hear what went on at his sad sack event, his housewarming party. A housewarming party. Bring me gifts and everything. Oh, here he is, everybody. Look who it is. It's the big man himself, Lil D.
Hey, check.
I don't mean to laugh, but it looks like you've been crying, sir.
No, I'm just tired. But long weekend of partying, so everything's
long
good.
Weekend of partying. Well, how did it go? So you had the party?
I had the party, yeah.
Okay, and how did it make you feel? Now, by the way, you knew that I wasn't going. And by the way, and I heard the way you left that voicemail message. You're a hard man, desperate man. You and I, co-workers, you and Damashek, you see him kind of as an idol, as a mentor. You and Gary friends. You and Gary dear friends. And the fact that he didn't go, how does that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
Well, I'm really upset, actually. I bought a house. This is a really exciting time for me, and I wanted to share it with my closest friends. Yeah,
right. But anyway, so the fact that and how many people came to the party? Was it a fun time or was it a sad time?
No, it was really fun.
Sad?
It wasn't
really fun.
sad at all. It was very fun. I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have as many people as Shaq's party. We probably had 10 to 15 people, but we're trying to be safe and
light guest list.
No, it's just really close friends. I had
apparently not.
No, well, you guys weren't there. I guess from our universe, Dan the intern showed up, which was nice. He came early.
He did not.
He was there. Yeah.
That kid showed up.
Yeah, and
terrific. Water finds its level.
That kid lives in Cleveland. Doesn't he live in Cleveland? He's in Ohio. He came out for that party. That party is 10 strong.
And I will say this: I like him. Nice guy.
Oh, you like him now. Oh, good for you. I'm glad you like him now. Damashek, how does that make you feel about Dan the intern?
You know what? He goes where he's going to get the most shine. He's trying to make his way in this world. I don't begrudge him too much. You know, he vibes to you because he thinks you're going to hire him to write on your next fancy sitcom. So whatever, he can do whatever he wants. I just hope Donovan learned a valuable lesson this past weekend.
What's that lesson?
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
So you did throw the party because
maybe I did, Donovan.
Wow!
Maybe I did.
That's great.
You sent the pigs in to my party. You ran it over. You embarrassed me. But in the end, you were the one on the short set. Remember when Johnny from Karate Kid in Back to School, when he comes in and he's dressed like a caveman for the big Halloween party, same time of year he comes in, he's like, "Where is everybody? This is always the party of the year." And it turned out they were all over Rodney Dangerfield's modified dorm room shindig.
Right.
Same thing, Donovan. You are Johnny from Karate Kid.
I never understood in that movie, not to go off Downer for a second, why everyone's dressed as cavemen or cavewomen, yet they're in just like a frat house with no decorations that would say you're in a cave or it's cave times or it's prehistoric time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just show.
It was very strange. It was very strange.
It's the party of the year, but basically they don't do anything to dress the house up to make it feel like caveman times.
Meanwhile, Dangerfield has in his gigantic suite in the dorm that cost him a fortune, he has Oingo Boingo playing.
Yeah, he has Oingo Boingo.
And a hot tub, right? And he's cracking jokes, even though he's dating Sally, even though he's put the blocks to Sally Kellerman, he's fooling around with co-eds in a hot tub.
I was just going to say, he's a septuagenarian. He's not just fooling around. He's a septuagenarian performing cunnilingus on co-eds.
That's what does that mean? He didn't do that.
When we find him.
That's when he's underwater?
When the sun, isn't that what he's doing down? What's he doing down there?
I thought he was just looking at goodies. I don't know. I don't know what you do down there underwater.
Rocky's brother-in-law, Paulie, is his pal with him, his boy Friday or whatever. the whole
right. But I just love that he's got bits. Like, what's your major? Poetry. Let me help you. Why don't you help me straighten out my Longfellow? Like, he's got bits, and then and they're all school related. Then he comes out from under the hot tub when Kellerman walks in. He's like, "That's what I call marine biology."
The cops bring beer over to the house.
They bring beer and pizza, and meanwhile, his son Jason is miserable. He's just kind of in the corner, upset.
What's
because
Jason
why?
so upset about?
Oh, he's upset because he found out because Zabka told him that your dad got you those A's. Got him on the diving team. That's right. His dad got him on the diving.
That's what gets him upset. But he also doesn't like the larger issue that Rodney, his father, is basically buying A's, not just for himself, but also for his son. And that definitely rings true that a sophomore or junior in college would be raw about somebody just giving them A's without them actually earning that A. Actually,
especially because in the beginning of the movie, we see him trying to buy used books that are already underlined and highlighted. So he already wants to cut some corners anyway. So that's what's really weird. What I don't like about that sequence, that midterm sequence in the movie, is that what does he do? He punches out Zabka. He's so loaded. He goes, "What are you gonna make me do? Knock your teeth down your throat?" He goes, "Be careful, Melon. Your dad's not around to defend you this time." And then he punches out Zabka, and then yet still for the remaining 40 minutes of the movie, Zabka is still seen as a nemesis and as a bad guy. How is he a nemesis after this little weakling punched him out?
Fair, and
makes no sense.
It's also fascinating that, Zabka, challenged to be the bully of the beach and the dojo and otherwise, is such a standout performer as a villainous, late teen that they're like, let's really see how far he can stretch and make him a diving team bully. Because diving team bullies, who hasn't had to deal with that?
He's nationally ranked, right? Which is pretty good. But then he goes from that movie then to back to high school. He goes from high school to college, back to high school in Just One of the Guys, which to me is his best performance.
That's your number one show.
He's really great. I love the fact that Donovan's heart is breaking. We got to hear our back to school panel for that whole. He just kind of sitting there taking it in.
It's funny because he is kind of like Johnny, but at the same time he's got some adjacent to him too, because Jason. The woman who is with Johnny, who goes with him to the caveman party, is twice his size, is literally twice the size of Jason. And for some reason, she falls for him. That's
obvious. Why, right? Why do you think she does?
Why?
He's got tons of money. He's got all that tall and fat.
But
money.
He's a miserable sack of crap. She may as well cut out the middleman and go after the old man who's going to kick in a half dozen years anyway.
That's a great point, Donovan. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Do you have an apology for Damashek now, please?
An apology.
That's right.
I think that's right.
Fair.
Because none of this would have happened. Honestly, I look at it this way, and I like your work, Donovan. Okay. But I think that for crying out loud, if you had just invited Damashek to this party, we all would have gone to the party. But instead, you didn't get invited to the party, and that's why your heart was broken. You connect those dots, sir?
No, my heart's not broken. I'm totally good. Everything's fine.
Don't you give me the smug crap. Don't you see that's what got you into this mess in the first?
It's not smug. Okay, and I didn't get my parents to call Gary.
Interesting. He makes a fair point.
And sway Gary's decision. Who does that?
Or your wife, or your fiance.
Yeah,
she's not going to call that. Well, you didn't have her call Damashek.
Well, it didn't matter. And Feeney,
she's too busy calling me.
I'm glad you had a good time at the party, but you went to the wrong one. Mine, after hearing about Shek's party, my party destroys his party.
I remember.
What was at your party? I'm sorry, Damashek. What was at your party? So Damashek had a hot tub. He had a bartender. He had an ice sculpture. He had Beth. What else? Sure. He had his kid playing drums like Gene Krupa. What did you have?
We bobbed for apples.
We also had a bartender. I told you about our signature drinks, the Loxy and the Redhead.
Right, we also really good.
I was a KJ. I put the karaoke on my new 65-inch TCL TV. Sang some karaoke all night long.
It's a bigger TV than Damashek had. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and we make your own paninis. I had some grills out.
So I would have had to have cooked if I were there.
Well, it's everyone gets a custom panini. It actually is very quick, and the line was
your own panini.
Make your own panini. I mean, if Donovan, I would have. If I was you, I would have led with that, baby.
It's a preview of the wedding weekend.
I'm happy to lead with any of it, and I played a little show 30 minutes. I played some of the songs I've played on this very podcast. That I played Czech in the 50s. I played David's song, the one that I wrote for that Julia should have sang. I played that live.
Did we give you permission to play those?
You just see that doesn't that really get right at the heart of the matter? Donovan, I understand that you have me up on a pedestal or whatever, but you know what? I'm not just some two-dimensional figure. I'm a person. If you cut me, I bleed. The difference between you and me, though, is that you're but one man, whereas I have an entire army, and I hope you won't soon forget that, Donovan.
I wonder if this kind of vindictiveness, this kind of vitriol was one of the reasons why Donovan did not invite Damashek to the party, because you're mean, sir. You're mean to your core.
Trust me, a lot of Damashek's real persona is shining right now. I'm glad the audience.
I could shrink from
Damashek, say you're sorry to Donovan.
Let me tell you something. I come from a place. I come from a place where once I saw a nasty fella wearing number 43 with the Dallas Cowboys star on the side of his head. I saw him mock on national television, a global audience. Poor Roy Jarella atop his head for missing a Super Bowl field goal. He mocked him. What did Jack Lambert do? In his black and gold, representing the city of Pittsburgh, he grabbed Cliff Harris and he threw him to the ground and he said, "This ends now. You don't bully me." That's what Mo Damashek did to you.
Good Lord.
That's what you thought you could pat me on the. No, Mo Damashek equals Jack Lambert. Don't forget it.
Well,
all right,
Shaq,
so
I am mad at you. I'm Feeney. I'm sad. I'm disappointed with you. Gary,
about it.
Disappointed with Gary. Disappointed in Tim. Nobody came.
It is funny though. I mean, of course, Tim wasn't going to go. Let's be honest. Tim didn't go to my wedding in Hawaii. He's not going to go to your place in Long Beach. And with all due respect, I mean, even when he's out here in LA, he doesn't go south of the 10. Get it? But here's my question to you. At the end of the day, Gary's the one who I kind of feel the worst for, because Donovan was surrounded by friends. I was surrounded by old friends, and Gary just kind of had to stay there alone in his apartment.
Yeah,
I'm assuming apartment. Apartment. I'm sorry. You had to stay in your apartment with your wife and your baby, which is, by the way, a great time. But still, like, I don't know. How did I feel bad for Gary? Gary being alone. Donovan had panini. Shaq and I had branzino. What did you eat for dinner Saturday night?
I don't know, but apparently I ate it in an apartment. I feel bad for me too. Take this abuse after I'm getting the entire half of Pittsburgh calling me, a 4-year-old crying about her father. I don't get to go to any party.
My daddy's very sad.
And then I'm taking crap about my apartment. What is this?
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Of course I didn't mean that. I was just being silly. But before Gary had to spend it alone, Damashek and I had to we got to hang out. I mean, not for nothing. I had to drive to Encino. Oof. But it was a good time. I hope we can put this behind us. Could have been worse.
You could have had to sit through an entire Donovan set.
No, you know what? Here's one thing I will say.
Don't hit him while he's down. Poor Donovan's. Come on, Damashek. Give him a break.
Here's one thing that I will say, because I should. Donovan.
I want this to leave a mark, Donovan. You understand?
Donovan.
I get it.
I don't want this ever to happen again.
It's fun.
I'm sorry.
Like getting hit with square knot. Look at the size of that fist. So
Michael
small,
Spinks had the good sense never to get back in a ring with Mike Tyson after the first go round. You understand? That's what I want. I want you to be Michael Spinks now. Understand? You took your punishment and accept that a second go round wouldn't benefit anybody.
Fist is the size of a racquetball. Look at that thing. Hold that up to the camera again, Damashek. Look at the size of that thing. My goodness gracious.
Want some of this, Feeney? You want some? You can have it next.
Ball.
I got plenty left for you.
Golf ball and a golf ball and a popsicle stick. That's what it looks like.
You taste this 2-iron in your punim. How about that?
So hold on. So Donovan, I hope everybody's fine. I hope we're all getting along again. I hope that we can put this behind us.
I would love for this never to happen again, and I'm happy to put it behind us. And Shaq, if I can also take the higher road with you, you were missed at the party. A lot of the crew from Chillax says hi. They've missed you too. So. Yeah.
Look, you know what? I'm going to let it go too. If you can here and now invite me to whenever it's going to be to the wedding. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
You're absolutely invited. And I still have some party favors left over from my party, and I'm going to bring them over next time.
Panini machine? You have the panini at the wedding? Panini press?
Oh no, that was borrowed, so I can't give that away.
Can I push my luck a little bit, Donovan? Can I get a +1 to the wedding?
We'll talk. Weddings are expensive. So I'm just gonna...
All right.
So now that that's behind us, can I say, Damashek, other than that, Damashek, how was your week? Was everything good? I'd like to get into this part last, but how you doing, Damashek? Are you all right?
All's great. We went on Sunday. We did another Halloween thing. Everybody at the house loves the Halloween. Everybody loves it.
What do you mean? You did a Halloween thing. What does that mean?
Well, I told you we did a thing in where we drove through all these elaborately carved up pumpkins, and it defies my ability to articulate it in a way that will make it sound as cool as it was. It was just thousands and thousands of things, and everything's drive-through now. But I appreciate that, at least in Southern California, and I assume in all parts of the U.S., that people have taken this last 7 and 8 months and are trying to not deprive kids, there are bigger issues in the world, but of these tentpole events in their life. It really stinks for little ones to miss Halloween, like a whole year of it. So thank goodness we did that a couple weekends ago. We drove through this really cool thing.
Where was that? Where was that, by the way? Is it in the Palisades? Where is that thing?
No, it was in sweet Jesus, what's it called? Where the Kardashians live.
Bel Air?
Calabasas.
Calabasas, which, by the way, means the reason they do this pumpkin thing annually is because Calabasas, I think, translates into something to do with the drop pumpkin. It's something like that. I think literally is what it translates.
Oh, you're kidding me. Okay.
Something to do with that. And then we went to this other thing. Where you stay in your car the whole time, and all the kids got makeup on their face, or the little girl whose voice you heard earlier. She was a kitty cat, and Hoover was a robber. He was like an old school robber, and it was a really funny outfit that he had dressed up in, his like a 40s burglar guy. But anyway. So then we drove through this thing where they had different little scenes to drive through, and little monsters would come up and they would pour candy, and you could say trick or treat to them, and they would just pour tons of candy into their bags, into the car and everything. It was imperfect, but still much appreciated. So they got to have a little Halloween fun. It was great. But anyway,
that's great. Were the other kids were with you? No, just the two youngest ones.
No,
the other kids.
Everybody was with us, and it was
everybody was with you.
Oh yeah,
Oprah's dressing up still. Oprah's 14.
She got into the spirit of it. She put a little. I also think that it's kind of like a little bit like, when there's a Tony. What's happened now in the last 10 to 20 years with Halloween is the same as what happens when there's a really ritzy suburb, and then downtown starts thriving. And then there's the in-between of those two places. And then eventually it just kind of populates and fills in. And then everybody, for a stretch, it gets all gentrified, and it's an appealing place to live. Sort of like Halloween. It started out as a kid's thing. Everybody was a kid's thing. Then adults started doing it. And then I think teenagers of the 21st century are kind of like, well, why are we going to skip it for a few years? Because we're going to get back to it as adults anyway. And now everybody does Halloween. It's a holiday for all ages. I associate it with little kids. I resented the idea of an adult being invited to a Halloween party, and I have to go through as a vain person. Oh, did I get enough costume here? And then I feel embarrassed that I didn't get into the spirit enough. But then on the other hand, if you overdo it and you show up to a party and you got this big ridiculous outfit on, then you feel like a jackass who overdid it the whole time, and everybody points and laughs at you for that reason. I just choose to avoid the whole matter altogether. But
so you don't dress up at all. You don't dress up at all when you're driving the kids around. You don't dress up at all.
I'll wear a fun hat, or
what's the fun hat you wear? What is the hat you wear? What the hat?
Well, this year I had a nice Joker mask that moved, but I just do a little something.
Oh, that's fine. Good enough. That's good enough.
I'm talking about going to grown-up parties. For the kids, I'll do whatever. Right. How about you? What's going on at your house?
As far as Halloween,
whatever.
We have these families we pod with. We're going to go to each of their houses. We're doing a scavenger hunt. It's going to be a whole thing. My daughter's picking between 3 different costumes. I think she's going to go as Ariel. it's all great. And it's all, I mean, she's still young. She's 5. Just seeing her kind of embrace it and like, it's going to be okay. We'll still have fun, Dad. Don't worry about because I'm kind of a dad. It's just the best. So seeing her like that, it's really a lot of fun. My costume hasn't come yet. I'm not even sure what I'm going to dress as yet.
Really?
But I go full out. I go full out. I never went full out. I go full out now. Can you believe it? I'm that guy.
That's right. That's how you do it.
I'm that guy. Other than that, it's fine. But I'm glad at the end of the day that you and I can still meet up every week like this.
What a good time.
Important to me. Speaking of traditions, this is a good tradition to do. Even with your ridiculous Revenge of the Nerds backdrop.
I thought that was pretty fun.
The rapist in the movie.
You know what's sad for me is I know you're excited because in the 21st century, you got over your Red Sox finally. It's World Series time, so you're excited about that. The older I get, and maybe I am a bad person ultimately, because the tradition that really maintained again this past weekend was that the Steelers beat the Browns. I mean, I don't care if they win a Super Bowl or whatever. It'd be fun if they would. But to me, the fun now is when the Browns and Bengals start making their noise. Like, now it's different. Now this is a new one.
What do you care about the Browns? What do you care?
Because I love that the people want to, you know what? Donovan is the Browns. I'll show you, kind of thing. And then 4 minutes into the game was already settled. I just find it delightful. I think it's nice to have superiority.
That says everything you need to know about Damashek is that little story right there.
I loved it. That's exactly
not
right.
caring about the betterment, except all he cares about is defeating those teams or those people that are lesser than him. That's Donovan. I cannot believe I didn't go to your party. I cannot believe I didn't go to your party.
Try and throw another one, Donovan.
You're absolutely right. And Gary, you are too. Gary said it best last week. That kid is a son of a bitch, meaning Damashek, and he's absolutely right. I can't care about the Browns and Bengals. Who cares about the Browns and Bengals? It's like the Patriots caring about the Steelers. Who cares?
All right, that's unnecessary and hurtful.
That's fair, though, isn't it? It's fair.
Gary,
any other business to clean up? Been a hell of a time.
I think that was more than enough business for one show. Donovan, I once again, I want to say I'm sorry.
It's okay, guys. You were missed, and
what's he, some martyr now?
No. I had a great time. It was a great party, and I just wish that you guys were there, and we can do it again sometime.
Well, you know what? We'll have a second.
Did Jen have a good time?
She had a great time. Of course, she likes to sing karaoke, so it worked out.
All right, she has no problem with her fiance sobbing through a version of "It's Raining Men" on stage.
I wasn't sobbing.
I want you to know, though, that now what we didn't do, everybody's tank is going to be full, like right as you pull out of the gas station for the nuptials. You see?
Yeah.
How we didn't expend any gas this weekend. We're going to be all set for the big Donovan marriage when it happens.
I can't wait.
One more time, just to show how low Damashek goes. Play his daughter one more time, please, Gary.
Hi, Gary. It's Sissy Damashek. You couldn't go to Donovan's party. My daddy's really sad. Bye.
Do me a favor, just because I like how it starts. Play My Old Man too.
Hi, Gary. Listen, you son of a bitch. I want you to know that I think it would be really rude for you to attend that party this weekend.
It is rude. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
That's pretty good. Hey, can we talk about real quick about what's happening this Friday?
Oh, yes, of course. I knew I had football on the brain for some reason, and I wanted to bring that up. Thank you for connecting the dots. We're going on Friday. This quartet, we're getting together at the new SoFi Stadium where the Chargers and Rams play these days. We've been offered by one of the BTLs and Monkeys. Let me know. Let everybody know, Gary, who's hosting us. We're going to go take a tour of the fancy stadium.
Yeah, he's a gentleman who works for SoFi. I haven't really cleared it with him whether or not he wants his name out there, so we'll just say he's an employee and a gracious fan and listener, and he offered to give us a tour. So we're going to go over there Friday afternoon and have a grand old time.
Now, what does a tour mean? What does a tour mean?
You know, I got to be honest, based on his title, it seems like a tour could really be anything. I mean, it seems like he has all the access. So I don't know. Do we end up on the field? Maybe.
So this is our celebrity then. Damn it. This is what Damashek lives like his whole life since he's been cutting out the noise since 99. like everywhere he goes, he's invited to things. Just like every time he goes out of town, a hotel key is put in his hand, if you know what I mean. But I've never had this experience, really. This is going to happen for us. We're going to be on the field. If I'm not kicking field goals in SoFi Stadium, I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's all because of the show. It's all because of Days of Thunder. We have another fan out there who loves us. I think it's terrific.
I love it, and I feel bad that Gary didn't get to have a party last weekend. Maybe Gary, because you're a Chargers fan, maybe we'll just I don't know where Gary went. I think he went home. But in fact, you'll hide somewhere in the stadium, and then Sunday, 1 p.m. local time, there Gary will be ready for kickoff right there.
Right there during the coin
owner's
flip.
Box. I don't know where you choose to watch the game from. That's up to you.
Donovan, what do you say? You want to come?
Yeah, I'd love to come. I'm actually really excited to check out the stadium, and unlike last weekend, I have no plans.
Perfect. You know what? I think that's the way to end it there. We've made our peace. There's nothing left to do except to hear from the Ewoks. Let's hear their joyous sounds.
SoFi Stadium. Yes, please go ahead.
We'll let you know how our tour of SoFi went when we talk next, 1 week from today. Until then, for Gary and a wizened Donovan, and of course David Feeney, Mo, my old man, my little girl, thank you for having my back.
Poor sissy.
We'll talk to you next week.
The damage you've done to her.
In the meantime, thanks so much.
Father.
Slice it.